Everybody's attention, we're calling the notice of, we're having a special meeting today. It's called to order. The Ordinance Committee held a regular meeting on April 22nd, 2019, a special meeting on April 23rd, referred the following items to the council with favorable recommendations. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion the motion to approve an ordinance adopting the annual operating budget for the town of Stratford for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2019 and ending June 30th, 2020, and appropriating the sum of $228,215,459 in accordance with therewith.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Ticky.
Mr. Chair, motion to amend.
There's a motion to amend. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Dancho. Go ahead, Mr. Capia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make an amendment to the ordinance adopting the annual operating budget for the town of Stratford, Connecticut for the fiscal year July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020 to decrease the appropriation by $143,100. This change is recommended. The mill rate will then decrease by approximately 0.03 mils. The expenditures being in org number 01103, object 6386, human resources, employment recruitment, increase 10,000. Org number 01107, object number 6102, Department of Town Clerk, printing and stationery, an increase of $2,300. Org number 01107, object number 6302, Town Clerks, equipment and service and maintenance, a decrease of $2,300. Org number 01151, object number 6602, contingency, unanticipated expense, a decrease of $40,000. Object number 01251, object number 6053, employee benefits, health insurance, a decrease of $235,000. Org number 01351, object number 6003, community services, bilingual service, an increase of $15,000. Org number 01352, and object number 6004, health department, payroll part-time, increase of $20,000. Org number 01402, object number 6004, building department, payroll for a part-time, an increase of $11,900. Org number 01404, object number 6003, town engineering, assistant town engineer, an increase of $75,000. And org number 40940, object number 6399, Short Beach Golf Course, an increase of $2,000.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Mrs. Dancho, can you second that?
I second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I just wanted to point out that the Ordinance Committee and all of our town councilors have participated in this very long budget process. Started with the mayor, who was presented our budget on March 9th. She presented a tax-neutral budget, and since then, the council has held 4 budget workshops. We met individually with all town departments, department heads, as well as administrators from within the town. The council held our first ever CIP joint meeting with the Board of Ed, which was very successful, and we also held 2 public hearings over the last, I'm going to say, 6 weeks. The administration has been available to all of us to answer our questions and concerns. Tonight's meeting is the end of the fiscal year 2020 budget process, and we will reduce the mill rate tonight, lowering all taxes for residents. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd just like to know, I'm very excited as we're able to, with Public Works, create a second shift, allowing them to be able to accomplish more work in the school system at night when the kids aren't there and other public buildings. I'm excited sitting on the Building Needs Committee and the Public Works Committee as chairman to see progress go. I think it's very exciting. We all worked hard, the administration, this council, with the workshops, being able to fund all the departments, but yet lowering taxes again. That's it.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'm going to call to, oh, Mr. Kemp, go ahead. I was looking at you 3 times.
You did. I was.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm timid tonight. I didn't expect an audience, because
For those who don't know, he's incapacitated today, limping around, so maybe that's it.
so there's a lot of whirling around up there with the. Anyway, I first want to express a thank you to the mayor and to my fellow town councilors for the, I'm going to say the town side of the budget, and that the improvements and efficiencies, the cooperation in regards to customer service, and the other progress that we're making towards being as effective as we can to delivering the services that our residents and businesses expect from us. This is a tough budget for administrators on the town side because it's required a 0% salary increase for them. The town union employees got a bit of a bump. So thank you for that sacrifice, and I'm glad that everyone's working together so that we can move Stratford forward. Now, having said that, there's 2 items in the budget that give me concern. I tend to be risk averse in dealing with business issues. The one item I want to point out is grand list from our commercial businesses, that our tax base comes from residents and it comes from businesses. We're about the same valuation on the commercial side as we were in 2008. Not perfectly, but where some of our neighboring towns grow annually at a rate of 2 to 4%, we're growing at a much slower rate. That's not to say that there's not an excellent inventory of opportunities. It's just we want to realize those opportunities sooner, and we all need to cooperate to make sure that any barriers to those that we solve and we take care of. So it's the first risk is our growth in the commercial tax base. The second risk is the accountability on our Board of Ed budget. That we've gone this year, I want to thank Ron for showing everyone that ALIO can produce reports, that ALIO can reconcile actual versus budget, and that it can be a tool for actively managing the allocation of financial resources to assure that the money that we're investing in either staff or programs, curriculum, et cetera, can be applied efficiently and be measured for their effectiveness. So that was a great step forward this year that we hadn't seen for the earlier years of Ms. Robinson's tenure with us. There was a $3 million surplus in 2018. The Board of Ed spent $1.5 million on that on computers and equipment. That's a good investment. The other $1.5 million was attempted to be spent on health care, but the auditors said that had to be left with the town. The Board of Ed's on track this year, 2019, for a similar $3 million surplus. And it's because of that I didn't believe that we needed to fund more for the Board of Ed, because there's plenty of money in the 2019 budget to fund the salary increases for the teachers, to avoid any threats of teacher layoffs, to assure that no student services were being reduced or cut. So my 2 risk-averse items is the commercial grant list. We need to make sure that evolves and is achieved this year, because we don't have any pension bonds. We don't have any more bond premiums. We don't have any stopgap fillers for next year. So we've got to do the commercial tax base, or residential taxes will go up high. And on the Board of Ed, the movement we made this year to get clarity and transparency and to demonstrate accountability in how the funds are allocated and managed, that has to be, in my opinion, more thoroughly achieved, just on behalf of the students and the teachers, so they know that we're doing the right thing all the time, and that if we make a mistake, we do corrective action, and we're always accountable. If anyone had other amendments in regards to the Board of Ed or in regards to economic development, I would second them. But otherwise, thank you for listening, and I appreciate.
Thank you, Mr. Camp. Okay, anyone else want to speak? Oh,
I'll be very quick. Again, I want to thank the mayor and all her staff and the town officials and department heads that work with us to make this easy. You know, this is one year that I'm happy to be up here to have a budget where we have a zero tax increase. And again, it took all of us working well together, Democratic or Republican, and this is what you call great leadership. And I think we're off to a great step in the right direction. So again, not only do we applaud all the department heads and the Board of Ed and all the entities of the town, but also I'm applauding the great town council people, along with the mayor and her office, for a great job in lieu of everything else that went on. So thank you so much, council people, council person, and the mayor's office, and for a great job. Well done. Thank you.
thanks, Mr. Hardin. Mr. O'Brien.
Also, just quickly, I'm glad to see Board of Ed members here. We've had a new dialogue with our Board of Ed Liaison Committee meeting pretty much on a regular basis. We don't always see eye to eye, but I think they've been very productive meetings, and something that I think was lacking in recent years. And this budget separates the Board of Ed pension payment out of the Board of Ed budget for the town to pay if the legislature pushes the cost down to the towns. Let's hope they don't. The budget continues the mayor's objective of shared services with Board of Education. That's a great move that in the long run, I think we're going to see savings in the future. And you know, our first responders are doing a great job in town, and we have the police overseeing the school security program with investing in full-time elementary school resource officer instead of a school security coordinator for $40,000. And we'd like to see the Board of Ed fully fund that position for the town in the future. So we'll continue to work with you, and thank you for all your cooperation.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Now, Mr. Pia?
If I just make a comment as well. This has been an excellent process. A lot of time has gone into it. And at the end of the day, I want to thank everybody because, as we all know, we're volunteers. The administration has been excellent. It's organized, it's transparent, it's professional. And that's the way all town government should run. So I do want to thank Mayor Hoydick and her administration for this. We've gone back and forth on a lot of different things. A budget is our closest, most educated document that how we can run this town over the next year, and we feel very confident in it. And we felt that we could finally get back a few dollars to the taxpayers, especially over the last 10 years of having increases. So I'm happy about that. The open dialogue and to comment on Councilwoman Dancho and O'Brien, Councilman O'Brien's points with the Board of Ed. Thank you to Dr. Robinson, Ron, for having these. I thought the CIP joint workshop went extraordinarily well, and going forward, that's going to be good to prioritize your efforts and where you need things. I do, as Mr. O'Brien, Councilman O'Brien said, when we discussed, I know, a bunch of the different positions, I think we have such an incredible and experienced police department in this town, led by Police Chief McNeil with the detective division, the SROs. I want to see those better utilized. So my ask would be that we coordinate with the police department to better utilize our SROs, and going forward with the security concerns, the security supervision of the Board of Ed and the schools. That would be my ask, and I'd be happy to work with you going forward on that. Consolidation is going to be the most important thing, I believe, long-term for the town of Stratford from a fiscal standpoint. The mayor is doing an incredible job of that, of consolidating services so that it runs the town on a more efficient, streamlined basis. We are open to it. We're doing a great job, and that's my only ask, is that we continue to do that going forward. So, thank you.
Okay, now this, we're going to vote by roll call vote. This is for the amendment. So I'm going to start with Mrs. Dancho. Something's wrong. I'm going to call for a 5-minute recess, everyone.